can't feel that big.
That's so crazy.
Yep, so come on through this way and we'll walk on. This is like the exit.
Oh yeah, this is so cool at night, Brad. You're gonna freak out.
You can take pictures, video, it's fine. So this is the facade of LLorona. I actually didn't know anything about LLorona before we started working on this. I didn't grow up with it. It wasn't something that my parents told me. But if you grew up in a household that story.
Do you know the story?
Okay, I'll tell you the story.
I was like, I wasn't sure if Brad knew it.
It's a 500-year-old legend. It's primarily Mexico, South Central America, South America, and it's a story about a woman from a poor town who was in love with this rich guy, and she had kids, and in order to win his hand, she drowns her kids in the river, and then he rejects her because he's so horrified by what she did, so she ends up killing herself by drowning herself in the same river she drowned her kids. So when she gets to heaven, she's told or asked by St. Peter, where are your children? So she has to roam the earth from now on for all eternity looking for her dead children. And there's all kinds of different variations of that story. So like in the Southwest, like Texas, there's a version of the story where as punishment for her sin, she has to wear like a horse's head. So there's all, in some versions of it, she eats children or she abducts them. So we kind of combined that. Yeah. We did a ton of research and we kind of combined it all together. So we set this in a church, and actually in a very specific church because this is a mission from, I believe, New Mexico, that my art director Chris found. And what we liked about it was, if you look at this, it looks like there's two eyes and there's
Where's that? I'm like, where are these people?
No, it's fine.
Did I miss it there?
No problem, thank you. So we do a whole big lighting transition out front where it goes from looking like a church into a face, and you walk through the mouth.
That's awesome.
So yeah, this is a pretty crazy construction process. Like since we're a movie studio downstairs in our technical group, you can get fiberglass.
Oh, that's
brick.
cool.
So there's all kinds of panels and stuff that you can buy, but then you have to actually hand trowel over it. So this is all plaster. This is like 3 different passes just to get this look.
That's crazy.
It's a very, very, very long process to create it, but nothing's quite as spooky as a church.
Yeah, I did not want to go in the first night.
So there's a little ante room as you go into the church, and then there's all these like signs and pictures of the missing children in the town. So we're basically going into a children's funeral, which is particularly creepy. So this is this you don't see the same way during.
Yeah, this is so different.
Freaking out.
Yeah, don't tell them the surprise.
There's a few really interesting / funny things about this scene. We can't just take like any image on the internet and use it. Everything has to be cleared legally.
Yeah.
So one of the big challenges in this maze was there's a whole lot of pictures in this maze, and they're real people. So we couldn't, like I said, I just can't go on the internet and rob imagery that belongs to somebody else. And these days, just about everything, somebody owns it, or it's copywritten or whatever. So one of our lead prop guys knew that his mom was from Mexico and she passed away, and so he had gone to his father and said, do you know anything or any pictures of mom when she lived in Mexico? And he was like, oh yeah, we have this, and he pulled out all these pictures of the whole family history that he didn't know existed. So these are all pictures of his family.
That's crazy.
Going back to the 1800s. So it's kind of funny. There's pictures. I'll show you. There's pictures of his mom in this maze, and it's a guy named Richard who's one of our main prop masters. And yeah, it's just a cool little detail.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
He discovered his whole family history doing this project. So sometimes the things we use are really sophisticated, like everything's run off of a computer, it's run like a ride. there's multi-channel audio and millions of lights all over the place, all being controlled by a computer. Because sometimes things are very simple. To get the look of flickering candles is, I think this is literally like Target. And it's got a little wire, so when they come in here later and they put them inside, they can get them back out.
Very interesting.
But to give it that look, you can't have an open flame, obviously, in the attraction. So, just little tricks our prop guys do. But this is a pretty freaky, disturbing scene. These are the three dead children. You're coming in from the back of the church. These are all the mourning women. I'll leave it at that because you want it to be scared.
Okay. You'll see later.
Stuff is inspired, from my childhood because I was raised strict Roman Catholic. My mom was a Catholic theologian, author of 7 books. So I used to always have to spend, time in churches late at night. Like I was an altar boy, but also. My mom would do prayer meetings and rosaries and stuff, and I just wander around the church as a kid. So statues always freaked me out.
Yeah.
Looking at statues at night in the church. So this is an effect where some of the performers in the scene are dressed like these statues, and some of them are real statues.
Nice.
And then there's another effect we're doing on them too, with kind of alternating between regular theatrical light and black light. So all of them have skulls and stuff painted with invisible black light paint, but you can't see them. Until the lights come on.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much every surface of this thing is that same kind of hand, troweled scenic texture with there's the bricks underneath and then they go over it and over it. And there's basically 2 sections to this. There's the first section and then there's this section. You can pretty much tell where the character is.
Spoiler.
But you always give a character an escape route. So if we're going to ask them to do something like stand here, the character's basically here. So, you're pretty much trapped. So we always have to have secret passageways within the maze for them to get on set and then get off set really quickly.
Gotcha.
But and everything's on video, so that little
I noticed that. I noticed the cameras.
Every single character's on video.
Is that
There's
right?
a guy backstage that's job is just to watch all the
that's cool.
cameras.
Now, what's the reason?
Safety.
Just for safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's for safety. So a lot of times when people get scared, their natural reaction is fight or flight. And sometimes they're not really trying to hurt anybody. Their just hands go up, and people get hit all the time. So.
And a guy actually watches.
Yeah.
His job is.
He's gonna sit there all day.
Oh my
Watch every
God,
single
that's awesome.
camera and make sure it's all good. And then we come to the crypt. So now we're going into the underground catacombs of the church. This is inspired actually by lots of different graves in Mexico that we did research on. They're a lot more colorful than our cemeteries. There's always a lot more brighter colors, although it's faded. And this is something we thought was cool too, which we created, which is the idea of a crying angel.
Really cool.
That's like Michelangelo's too, just like that. And we're doing the black light thing again there. You can kind of see an A next to the M, but it changes from Maria, which is her name in the story, to LLorona, Maria LLorona. And there's an effect called the Pepper's Ghost Illusion, which is right here. It looks really cheesy during the day, but this is an old illusion that's been around since the 1800s and magicians used to use. But basically, behind this is a mirror. You can kind of see the angle of the mirror on the ground. So that thing is not actually there. It's over here.
Oh, okay.
And that's just a reflection. But under the right lighting and everything, it just looks like a ghost. It just appears. I think a lot of people miss this when they go through the maze. I don't think they
It took me the 3rd night to see it. I was like,
A lot
whoa.
of people miss it because it's real subtle. But she just kind of appears and disappears and appears and disappears. But it's all that set is actually over here and it's bouncing off a mirror and reflecting. And it's an illusion that's been around for centuries. And then the other weird thing in doing research in a lot of these church crypts, they would dress the dead bodies, and these are all children, so it's doubly creepy. So all these weird little mummified skeleton children everywhere.
It's gonna be so scary. I know it.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. And if you smell dirt, that's actually a scent cannon that's pumping in the smell of dirt into this particular scene. It's turned off right now, so it's not super strong, but you can.
The attention to detail is unreal.
Yeah, that's what we're known for. That's what we try to do every year.
I've never been to a haunted house. It's so
our whole thing is based on movie quality.
That's awesome.
Trying to do everything like a movie so that it's got the same kind of sets and quality that we have, but while still doing a temporary attraction.
Yeah.
All them guests.
Trash. Jeez. Who has time to do that?
Yeah, right. Like,
Oh yeah, you'd be amazed what guests do. Sometimes they're not very smart. Opening night, some guy decided to smoke a cigar in the middle of Alice Cooper, which of course sets off the fire alarm. So.
Oh
have there
wow.
ever been bad? I'm sure there have, where people react and like attack some of the people you have working here.
That's why everything's under surveillance. Yeah.
What do you do in that case?
Arrest them.
You arrest them.
Yep. We have LAPD on property
Wow.
every night. Yeah. Yeah, that's true of any haunted attraction anywhere.
Yeah.
There's always going to be people who
Of course.
decide they want to be cute.
Yeah.
And that's all how we train our characters too. There's safe ways to scare people, and there's not safe ways.
That's
and
right,
the
yeah.
example I always use, like, if this was like a spot he was popping out, if you do this, now you stay here, then you would have to move me to get past me.
That's right.
So we're usually trying to scare on your peripheral vision. So we're trying to hit you
that
on
makes
angles.
sense.
It's scarier that way, and it's also safer for them.
Of course.
This is like a triple scare position. The performer in here is playing a little dead child. Can hit from here, here, and there. And so this guy's good. This guy's really good. He's been doing a great job. There's multiple actors that do it, but he can go 1, 2, 3, back and forth. And that's another position, and that's another position.
Jeez.
That's So we always have to hide little entrances for them to get on and off.
Oh yeah.
There's always like these hidden doors. I'm looking for the handle. There it is. So it's always hidden, so they can just come in
can see that.
Yeah.
get
Would
in.
never see it.
And then, and since these folks are playing little kids, they were small statured performers, they're all on little platforms. So yeah, that's a good example of a secret passageway within the maze.
Oh, that's cool.
So from that hallway, you can get to like 5 different positions. It's all things we design into the attraction.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this is all guest damage. It's all just guests picking at it, hitting it,
Right.
doing what they do. And then a bizarre, creepy scene. This is the river where LLorona drowned her kids. That's real water, but it's only about an inch or two. It's probably 2 inches
Right.
deep. Yeah.
It's a lot deeper than that. It's,
Yeah, it's got dye in it, and you can tell when you look over here where it has numbers on it. It's basically like how you build a pond in your backyard. It's all pool liner. And then the water's treated. But when you look at it in broad daylight like this, you can kind of tell the bodies are actually cut in half. Too big to. There's only, like I said, about that much water.
Yeah.
So they're literally cut right down the middle, so they're just floating.
So cool.
Yeah, this is one of the more disturbing scenes.
How long does it take to build this maze right here? So one
We would
maze.
have started this one probably. Well, I designed it with my art director in February, and then we started construction in June. It takes every bit of time. But yeah,
Really
it's
cool.
a year-round process. And then that's another effect that we use a lot in Horror Nights. It's a scrim screen, so if you light it from the front, it just disappears. Like all these walls will disappear with the lighting. The focus is all just on the water and the bridge and the set. But if you light inside of it, you can see through it and see to that figure. So this is like the ghost of LLorona. It just appears and disappears as you're going through the scene. It's actually being controlled by an actress over here. She's got a little right here. She's got a little trigger. It's like a guitar pedal switch.
That's
And
cool.
when she pushes that button, she can make that thing light up and also make lights and audio above her head. So she's got complete control. We do this for a lot of our characters. She's got strobe lights above her head. She's got speakers, so that's all just her specific audio that she has control of.
Nice.
Yeah. There was a lot of consternation when we were going to do this the first time last year, because we did this maze last year. We changed it a lot this year. But people were like, "Ooh, kids, I don't think you can do that."
Yeah, you can.
Sure you can.
It's part of the story.
That's right.
But it's just something really disturbing. We have like a huge warehouse and we acquire so many props over the years that we're always repurposing and reusing things. That was from Friday the 13th, I can tell by looking at it.
Are you serious?
There was a scene where we were grinding the girl's face off in Friday the 13th in 2010.